the screen. Horror shows, zombies scream, vampires biting, shadows gleam. Slasher delights in my dream. Shark master swims in fear. Ghouls and ghosts, they appear. Sci-fi flicks, end is near. Join the horror, shed a tear.
G'day and welcome back to the channel, Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginger Ninja and these of course are my movie reviews. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. Probably wondering what we're doing here today. Well, it's Friday in Australia and Fridays are Franchise Fridays. So I look at a film in a franchise, going from start to the end. And this week we're up to the fourth film in the Tremors franchise, Tremors 4, The Legend Begins, which came out in 2004. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the film, as always, I do want to say a big thank you to all my new and existing subscribers. It truly means the world to me that you guys support me and are enjoying these as much as I'm enjoying watching them. That's right, I did enjoy this one. I mean, it's the fourth one in the series. So, yeah, that says something about the longevity of this series. So, yeah, I mean, the third one wasn't as good as the first two, but I mean, yeah, it is hard to maintain a franchise. So let's get into this one and see what it does well, but also what it does not so well. Now, the film was directed by S.S. Wilson and, of course, stars Michael Gross, Sarah Botsford, Brent Rome, August Schellenberg, and many, many more. Plus, in a somewhat rare non-villainous role, billydrago. Yeah. Now, the plot. A prequel to Tremors from 1990, this movie tells us about the town of Perfection, Nevada, and how it was founded and how they defended against the Graboids with the help of Burt Gummer's ancestor, Hiram. So like I mentioned, when a franchise gets to its fourth installment, there is always a question, does it have something fresh to say, or is it merely treading this over the same old ground? With Tremors 4, The Legend Begins, the answer is a quirky mix of both. It's not groundbreaking, but it's charmingly self-aware and it fits snugly within the franchise's unique niche. It attempts to provide an origin story for the Graboids without spoiling too much, but it also provides an origin story for the township of Perfection. Exploring its quirky Western-style roots of the series while maintaining its signature blend of humor and creature feature thrills. So let's saddle up, get out into the wild, wild west, and look at Tremors 4, The Legend Begins. Now, looking at the cast, we've got Michael Gross, and he is now the backbone of the Tremors franchise, and this movie gives him a chance to flex his comedic chops in a new way. Watching Hiram's transformation from snooty outsider to a sort of a proto Burt Gummer is a highlight. His performance balances humor with just enough sincerity to make his journey as a character believable. Supporting characters like Juan and Christine, they do offer some charm and heart to the story. However, the character development is mostly superficial, and for the remaining cast members, it leaves them feeling like caricatures and not fully developed characters of their own. It was interesting to see how the store, Chang's store began and how long it's been there. So yeah, like I said, there were those little things in the history of that, but that comes in the writing. billydrago was another highlight in a role that would have been a lot of fun. His performance as the quick-draw gunslinger brings a rugged energy that contrasts Hiram's refined personality. And I can only imagine it would have been a lot of fun for him to play a character that's not an outright villain, like that is a gun for hire but is a good guy. So it would have just been it just seemed like it was a lot of fun. Now on to the directing and the writing. The shift to the Old West is a clever twist that refreshes the formula. Swapping the modern survivalist action to a frontier town atmosphere, it's a good choice. The filmmakers commit to the period details from costumes to props, creating a very believable Old West vibe. the shift makes this prequel feel still tied to the Tremors universe. Yeah, and the origin story for the Graboids and Perfection Valley feels well connected to the franchise's lore. Yeah, particularly for dedicated fans who have followed this from the start up to now. I mean, granted, we are only the fourth film in, but it's good that they are still keeping it fresh, but also keeping in line with what they've already established. Yeah, the third film, they went back to perfection. That was good to see where it had come from, but it didn't go far enough, I didn't think. This one, it's great seeing it go back to where it all began. And the twist at the end is also interesting, but I won't spoil that. Yeah, but of course, it's not all great. Yeah, compared to the earlier Tremors films, this installment lacks the same level of tension. Yeah, there is an element of it, but it's not there, and that's because the humor occasionally undermines the stakes, and the graboid threat feels less immediate due to their smaller size and their limited screen presence, which I'll touch on in the effects. There's also a few pacing issues. The first half of the movie takes its time in setting up the characters and the town and even getting in the graboids. It starts out well. You've got the mine, you've got the disappearance, but then it drops and it drags. And it does drag quite a bit for viewers who are waiting on the creature action to kick in. Once it does, the pacing does pick up quite nicely. So now on to the effects. And look, it's no secret that the Tremors sequels have worked with increasingly smaller budgets, and it shows. The graboids don't appear as frequently or as convincingly as in earlier films, and some sequences feel a bit stretched thin. But despite the limited budget, the practical effects are still impressive. The early variation of the graboids, referred to as dirtdevils, is a clever twist. And it does give fans a glimpse of the creature's evolutionary beginnings. The filmmaker's commitment to the tangible in-camera effects over CGI also helps maintain the tactile horror and charm of the series. But yeah, I mean, seeing the dirtdevils, like the eggs, the dirt, it kind of goes in line with the lore, I guess, but I don't know. I always thought, like Burt, I always thought they were from space. Now on to rewatchability. And look, this was actually a first time watch for me. For some reason, I'd missed this one, but watching it now, I can see myself rewatching it again at some point in the future. This was a fun watch. I definitely think it was probably a step above the third one, Back to Perfection. So yeah, I'd definitely rewatch this one. So, final verdict. Tremors 4: The Legend Begins is a fun and inventive addition to the Tremors series. And it's offering fans a fresh perspective on the beloved world that they've come to know and enjoy. Yeah, Michael Gross delivers a standout performance, and the Old West setting brings, creative new energy to the franchise. However, its pacing and smaller scale and its very niche tone make it less accessible to the casual viewer. Overall, for a score, Tremors 4: The Legend Begins gets a 6.5 out of 10. There you have it. That is my review of Tremors 4: The Legend Begins. Let me know if you've seen this one down in the comments below, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this entry into the franchise and what you've thought of the movies so far. So if you haven't, check out the previous entries in this Franchise Friday. But also, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It'd be much appreciated. And of course, if you've made it through this far, you might as well hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you're notified about any new content that I have coming out. Now, obviously, Franchise Fridays. I've also got my Trashy Tuesdays, which they've been a hell of a lot of fun this year. Like, there's been some real pearlers in there, which have been great, absolute bangers, and they're just continuing on. Also got my 60-second reviews as well, but I also have a new thing that I'm doing. Last weekend we premiered The House on Haunted Hill, a public domain film. We watched that and we enjoyed chatting about it in the chat. So definitely make sure you check those out. There'll be a few more coming up in the future. Not too many, but we'll be doing the classics. And I'll be using them to review films later on down the track as well. So yeah, keep an eye out for those because they're a lot of fun. But anyway, before I blather on too much, thanks very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.
Ginger Ninja on the prowl, franchise Fridays is going wild. Oh yeah! Zombies, vampires, ready to haunt, movie nights never mild. Ghosts, ghouls, slashes in the dark, nightmares running free. Horror, sci-fi, movies galore, Shark Master knows what to see.